So this is the second video in a series. You should already have Python installed and working on your MacBook Air. Now, when we run Python and we enter programs in the interactive prompt, every time we restart the prompt, the memory's erased. So we're starting from scratch and we have to re-input anything that we want into the Python script. This is the next step that instead of replicating that code, we're going to save it into a text file. We don't need a complicated IDE. This is a way to quickly make a Python script or a Python program using a text editor. The text editor that is common to the MacBook Air, it's already in there as TextEdit. So we'll go ahead and do this example in TextEdit. And let me open up my screen on the other side. And first thing we're going to do is go ahead and open TextEdit. We'll save it into the Documents folder. So we're going to go, I'm selected my Documents folder, New Document, and we'll make this a little bigger with Command-Shift+. And you'll see that my font is going to increase, so it's easier to read. Open up the window a little bit. Before we start, super important part, you want to go to Format, and we want to make this plain text. The Python interpreter is looking for a plain text file, not rich text. Generally, that won't work. So right before you do it, Format, make plain text. That'll change your window just a little bit. So we're going to type in a small Python script. It got smaller on me again, Command-Shift+. We'll just say the number equals 11. Now you see how that auto capitalized for me. I can just go back because Python does distinguish between lowercase and uppercase. Now every time I type it, it's going to capitalize that first word. Also, the grammar check may be problematic. So you can go in and change and turn off the grammar check here, but to stop this capitalization isn't as obvious. So let me back off that. We're going to go check, hit Apple and go into our system settings. If you want to get rid of that, you're going to go into keyboard and under text input sources, I'm going to hit edit. I can turn off capitalized words automatically. Depends if you want to do this or not. I'm going to do it because doing Python scripts, it will make you crazy, but it's up to you. Now you'll see when I say number, if I could type number equals, and I'll say 3, it doesn't auto capitalize. So this is kind of handy. So we're going to make a short script that calculates the factorial of a number. Factorial of a number is, let's say, factorial of 5. What's the result of 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1? Factorial of 3, 3 times 2 times 1. So we're just going to make a little script that will calculate the factorial. And we'll start with our number is 3. So we're going to initialize the result of our script to whatever the number is. So we can change that number on the top if we want a different factorial. And we're going to do exactly what we said. So if the number is 5, I want to multiply 5 and then go down all the way to 1. So we'll make a quick loop. So we're going to loop from, in Python, it's the range. This isn't really important. We're just demonstrating how to make a script into a text file. So let's say number minus 1, because I already know that it's 3. And then we're going to go all the way down to 1. This will actually go down to 2, but go with it. And we're going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, because the indentation is what distinguishes new lines in Python, or that it's underneath that 4 construct. So our result is going to equal the result times each of those iterations. So our value. And then we'll just go ahead and print it to the screen. So we're going to print out our result. Double check that number, result equals number for value in range. The starting value, the ending value, and then the -1. We're going to do this backwards. So it'll go, the result's going to be 5. Well, here it's 3. So result equals 3. And then we're going to say, okay, let's go from 2 down to 1. Incrementing by, so we'll go 3 times 2. It'll multiply that and print it out. So this seems fine. And we're going to go to File, Save It. And we've saved that into the Documents folder. Now we need to name it something. And we're going to use a .py extension. So this will just be our first script. We're going to call it .py. this says if no extension is provided, make it text. This is checked, so we're overwriting it. So our Python files, we're going to call them .py extension. And this will help us manage it. It's already plain text encoding, so we go ahead and save it. We'll just go ahead and keep this open for a minute. Now we're going to open a terminal window, and I'll just go ahead and put it on the other side. Command Shift plus to get a little bit bigger. And we want to change our directory into where did we save it? And we saved it into documents. So we're in our documents folder, and we're going to run the Python program. Now we have a challenge here. If I list the information in the documents directory, it says the operation isn't permitted. Now, if I would have saved my Python script in the downloads folder, this would be fine. For some reason, the default in the terminal is to not allow you these commands in the documents folder. Now, we do want to fix this. You don't have to. You could have just saved the Python folder in your documents folder, do all your class work or do all of your scripts inside of that. But we want to see how do I fix this problem if in fact I do want to have a folder to keeping all of my scripts inside the documents folder. Again, we're going to go back to the Apple. We're going to go into System Settings, and under Privacy and Security, we'll go to what was it called? Files and Folders. Click on Files and Folders, and then you'll notice there's a terminal icon. It is a default show applications access to these files and folders. The terminal application does not have access to the documents folder. We want to do that. Notice downloads was there. So we're going to hit it. We have to put in our password. It says, okay, I need to reopen this to allow that to happen. So I'm going to quit and reopen it. I can close that out. And now when I try to list the contents, you'll see I can see it. And this is important because now I can see my first .py Python program. So now we're going to run our program. And all you do is you say, hey, Python 3, I want to use Python 3 to execute this Python script. I run it, and you see the result is 6. That's what I expected. 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. Let's go back, and it's kind of nice to have both windows open. Let's do a 5. Now, what do we expect? 5 times 4 is 20, times 3, 60, times 2 is 120. So let's go File, Save, or you could do Command S. We just do up arrow to get our last command, hit it. There it is, 120. So our script seems to be working nice. Let's try it one more time. Go 55. This time I'll hit Command S to save it. Up arrow, and what is 55 factorial? Believe it or not, yes, it's that. It's a quickly growing function. So that's it. So if you want to do some Python programs, now you can do it in the terminal window from the first video of this series. If I want to make any kind of quick script or quick Python program, just open any text editor. It doesn't have to be TextEdit. You could be on a Windows and use Notepad. Just make sure you're saving it as plain text, and the practice is to call it a .py file. Then when you navigate to that folder, like I did here, I went into the documents folder where I saved it. I just say Python, and then in a Mac, of course, it's Python 3, the name of the file, the script runs. The last video in this series is going to be, now we're going to use something that's a little more heavyweight, and we're going to do the same process. Now that we've learned how to do Python in the interactive prompt, now we can do Python with a text file. Now we're going to do it in VS Code, and this is generally something that we'd use to build bigger programs. Get a chance, hit that subscribe button, and then that third video will be linked here once I make it. Thank you.